Something unbelievable happened in Paris that night. It wasn't planned, it wasn't choreographed. It was one of those rare moments when the world collectively gasped, and every camera, every whisper, every heartbeat turned toward one man, Jimin. When he arrived at Dior's 2026 Paris Fashion Week, the atmosphere shifted instantly. You could feel it, that strange silence right before a storm. And then, like lightning, the crowd erupted. Flashes everywhere. Journalists, fashion editors, fans, everyone was shouting his name. But here's the thing, this wasn't just another red carpet moment. This was Jimin's era, unfolding right in front of us. Even the Associated Press, yes, the global news agency, released a feature video where Jimin appeared alongside Johnny Depp. The caption? Highlighting Jimin's arrival as one of the most anticipated moments of the entire show. Think about that. An international press agency, not a fan account, not a blog, but AP, placing him beside a Hollywood legend. Then BBC News made it even clearer. They described Jimin as the only male celebrity at Jonathan Anderson's women's wear collection. That wasn't a casual observation. In a space dominated by elite designers, supermodels, and fashion insiders, Jimin was standing there, the only man, yet commanding the room like he belonged more than anyone else. And People magazine in the US? They crowned him as the only Korean star who created the 2025 Paris Fashion Week moment. Not a moment, the moment. They even highlighted his interaction with actress Monica Barbaro, noting the chemistry, the elegance, the cinematic quality of it all. For People, who cover everything from Oscars to royal weddings, to single Jimin out like that says everything about his global pull. But maybe the most powerful praise came from Spain's Vanitatis, which wrote, open quote, Jimin was not just a guest, he was the true star of the night, the epicenter of a phenomenon that goes far beyond music. Close quote. And they were right. Because when you look at Jimin, you don't just see a musician or a performer. You see a living embodiment of art. Someone who blends fashion, music, and emotion so effortlessly that people stop to feel his presence. Then came Paris Match, one of Europe's most prestigious magazines. They couldn't stop talking about his shirtless Dior look, how the moment he appeared, the crowd outside lost control. Fans screamed like they were at a concert. Some were crying, some shaking, holding banners, waving light sticks. It wasn't a fashion show anymore. It was a celebration of beauty, confidence, and that mysterious magnetism Jimin carries everywhere he goes. He didn't need to say a word. He just stood there, elegant, calm, with that soft smile that feels both humble and untouchable at the same time. And somehow, everyone around him seemed to fade into the background. The French media described it perfectly. Open quote, Jimin didn't just wear Dior, he became Dior. Close quote. You could see it in every gesture, the way he fixed his sleeve, the way he turned his head toward the cameras, the quiet confidence in his walk. It wasn't arrogance, it was artistry. It was someone fully aware of his power and using it not to dominate, but to inspire. For the fans waiting outside, it was pure magic. Some had been standing in the rain since dawn, holding up posters, chanting his name. And when he finally appeared, even for a few seconds, tears streamed down faces. You could see people covering their mouths, shaking, whispering, he's real. That's the kind of connection Jimin creates. It's not celebrity worship, it's emotional gravity. Inside, the fashion world, the same world known for being cold, distant, and exclusive, couldn't stop talking. Designers, photographers, and models all said the same thing. Open quote, there's something about him, something that makes people feel. Close quote. And that, right there, is the difference. He doesn't perform for attention. He exists in a way that commands it. That night, Paris wasn't just about fashion anymore. It was about presence. It was about art. It was about a boy from Busan who walked into the most exclusive show in the world and made it feel human. So yes, Paris had its fashion week. But what the world remembers is the moment Paris froze for Jimin.